Alright, so I love my Nikon ZR. I love the big screen, but there's one thing that might be kind of a deal breaker. There's more, but I'm gonna make more videos about it, but I'm just gonna cut it in short clips. But, so I have my A7 IV over here. My FX3 doesn't work at all with Bluetooth. So when I have to use my gimbal or any Bluetooth related stuff, I'd rather use my A7 IV. I can use my FX3, but that's one bummer about my FX3. But one thing I want to talk about. So connecting to Bluetooth with the RS4, the RS3 Mini, same thing with the RS4. Right now I just have my Mini on me just because it's lighter, easier to try it out, the setup. When it comes to Bluetooth connection, it's so much easier. So it works, right? This one works as well. If I press record, it films, no issue. What I like about the A7 IV that the Nikon ZR doesn't do, which I'll show later in the video, is that when I turn off the gimbal, right, because I want to save battery, or when I turn off the camera, I'll show you that afterwards too, when I turn it back on, it connects automatically almost instantly. So boom, now I can press record, and as you can see, it is now recording, which is very nice. Let's say I want to turn off my camera to save a little bit of battery, turn that off, the gimbal is still on if I want to, right? It says camera disconnected. When I turn on the camera, it connects instantly and I can press record, and there you go. It's recording. Very fast setup, extremely quick, and that's what I like, especially for a running gun. So now let's turn off the gimbal, or I don't even have to turn off the gimbal actually, but I turn off the camera, and then now let's try the Nikon ZR. So actually let's turn off the gimbal so I can take off the camera, or put the gimbal on sleep mode. So now, put the Nikon ZR. I have my DJI mic over here. If you have the DJI mic 2, it typically it's a bit bigger and it blocks the power cable, but the mic minis is no issue. I can still access it. One thing about this camera that's really nice as well, not one thing, there's multiple, but another thing about this camera which is really nice is that you can, it opens instantly after one, compared to the A7 IV, it's a little bit faster. So if I turn this on, it's a bit, which is not an issue, maybe half a second faster. So as you can see, actually it's about maybe the same thing. It just feels faster. Let me open it again. It feels faster. I have the big screen. To connect to Bluetooth was a bit of a hassle. I had to pair the device first and then connect to Bluetooth. So let's go in the menu, have my Bluetooth connection here. And now, right, my A7 IV is off, so it should not connect to the gimbal. Let's put it on here for now. Let's lock it up, just like that. Let's turn on the gimbal. So now when I film, right, it is not connecting automatically. You might say, well, it's because it was just connected to this camera. Let's do that. So let's turn on the Bluetooth. Let's wait till it appears. So I have to go on the Bluetooth page. Over here, I might have to completely save a wireless connection again. So go there, maybe reset. So go on this page, turn on the Nikon ZR. Finally have that, connect, confirm, and then there you go. Now it's connecting. So now when I press record, it can now be filming. I am also using a Sony mic, a Sony lens. The autofocus works extremely well, but as you can see, sometimes the connections doesn't work. So now what I have to do, first let me end the recording. Sometimes what I have to do, right, is usually take off the lens, put it back on. I have my Sony lens over here, put it back on, and then hope it connects, and it's still not working. When it does work though, the autofocus is extremely quick, very snappy, almost no issue at all. But as you can see, it's not working. So it's kind of annoying. Maybe I just didn't clip it properly. I might have to do that. Still not working. So I love it. I love the camera when it works. There's a lot of quirks, a lot of features that's really nice. I like the big screen. Definitely that's one of the biggest selling points other than the raw recording. I don't really use raw recording too much. I would rather fast-paced content for social media use, which many people will just say, just get the Sony, get the A7 IV, get the A7 V. But something for me, I just wanted to try out something different, like a big screen. But right now, it's not working. So for sure, if you have Nikon native glass, this issue will probably not appear. But for me, since I have a lot of Sony glass, and I find I have a lot of my team work on Sony, so I find it a plus if I can use Sony, but there are some times where it does glitch like this. So for a quick fix, I really wanted to get this video for the gimbal, but for now, just to fix this issue, because I want to have the autofocus to work, I'm going to put a Sony Tamron lens on this, and I usually don't have any issue, and I'm having issue. Let me turn it back on. There you go. So now it's connected. The Tamron's connected. Now the autofocus is working really well, and let's quickly stabilize it a little bit, not too much. And then now, there you go. So I turned off the camera, right? Let's turn on the gimbal. Let's start filming. And it doesn't work. I have to reconnect again. I have to go through here, right, on the gimbal, Bluetooth, connect, and now it's connected, confirm, and then now it works. Which is honestly not a big issue for some. At least the Bluetooth works compared to my FX3, which does not work at all. At least it does work. Autofocus works very smoothly, but that's not a Bluetooth, that's not unrelated to the gimbal, but it works, right? It works when I need to use it. 32-bit float is super handy, but the issue with 32-bit float is that my DJI mics, even the DJI Mic 3, does not support 32-bit float. I haven't confirmed yet for Rode, maybe Rode does, but from what I'm aware with is that the DJI mics does not film in 32-bit float. You have to record internally 32-bit float. It doesn't work even with the hot shoe. The hot shoe, however, works in 24-bit float if you ever need that. So it works, but it just takes time to connect. So for a fast workflow like me, the A7 IV wins this. But for something that's more fun to use, bigger screen, the Nikon ZR is a bit more fun when it comes to that case. The only way to fix this is that you have to keep your camera on, or I have to keep the Nikon ZR just on all the time. I typically like to have my brightness screen to the max so I can see it, and keeping the screen, especially this large screen, I can imagine it's going to drain the battery a lot. So I'm going to show you guys again. Let me turn off the Nikon ZR, right? When I turn it back on, the Bluetooth will not work. Well, it's not going to auto sync automatically compared to the A7 IV. I'm going to have to go here. Oh, wait. Oh, no. It turned blue, so I thought it connected. So I'm going to have to go in the settings here, do that. Wait, it connected automatically. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me try turning it on. Wait till the Bluetooth logo turns blue. It's taking some time. It turned blue. It says get disconnected. It looks like it just takes time. It works now. Maybe I'm in a mode that's taking longer, right? Maybe it just takes time here. Let me try. What if I turn off my gimbal and I turn on the gimbal again? It looks like it takes... Actually, now it's quick. Let me try turning off the camera again, turning it back on. It's not a big issue. While it's connected, I could just press record here, right? Do my thing. And then now wait till it's blue. There you go. And then now it's working. That is not bad at all. Let's see if it's focusing really well. It's not bad. Let's see what happens now when I have both cameras turned on. Who is it going to connect to? So let's turn on this, turn on the gimbal, press the record button, connecting to that. Let me connect quickly to the other Sony. I might have to turn this off. Let me just turn this off for now. Let's try my A7 IV is connected. Let's press record. It records, ending. Let's see how fast it is now. So I'm going to close my camera, my A7 IV. Turn it back on. It's on. It's faster. It is faster for sure. Let me show you again. Turn it off. It's about, I would say, 5 seconds because this one takes time. So this one's quick. Yes, I can just press record here if I really want to, but the screen is a lot tighter, so all the buttons are a bit closer. And then let's say if I turn off the Bluetooth, I'm messing up my lens over there. So let's turn on Bluetooth, turn it on, go. Oh my God. Let me just keep that closed. Let me turn on my Nikon. Let's see how long it takes to reconnect. Do that, Nikon ZR, connecting. It's not as bad as I thought, to be honest. So that's the Nikon ZR with a DJI mic Bluetooth connection, troubleshooting, first initial impressions, first initial thoughts. So far, I am still quite impressed with the adapter. Yes, it does glitch sometimes. Surprisingly, for a third-party lens working on an adapter, it's working quite well. I'm not mad about it. So anyways, I'm still deciding if I'm going to keep this camera. I have 30 days to try it out, and if I don't like it, return it. So I'm still testing it out. I'm just seeing, imagining myself in a shoot when I need to go quick, run and gun. But one thing I absolutely love is that when I'm playing, let's say I'm showing this video either to the client or I'm monitoring myself, when I play here, the audio is extremely loud, right? Compared to, let me play here, connecting to that. The speakers here are really loud in case you need to monitor the audio. So I'm gonna play here. There you go, and then now it's working. The A7 IV can never be that loud. So let's say if I'm speaking to the mic, testing 1, 2, 3, right? I'm playing it now. That's the volume. Let me put the volume to max though. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. It's not bad actually. A7 IV, I thought it was bad, so maybe it's because I was listening out on loud environments and I couldn't hear anything. Let me test out the Nikon ZR again. So let me film. Testing 1, 2, 3. Let me play again. Testing 1, 2, 3. It's not a big difference. It is louder, but it's not that big of a difference, and I thought it'd be a bigger difference. Anyways, so that's it. Let's see what you guys think, but that's the A7 IV versus the Nikon ZR with Bluetooth on the DJI gimbal. If you guys have any other questions, let me know, and I'm probably gonna make some more videos on the Nikon ZR, my thoughts, because I really like this camera and I want to like it, but there are some times, there's some issues that it doesn't work, and that can be an issue, so I'm still deciding whether I go all in with the Nikon ZR or I stick with my current setup, FX3 and A7 IV, which is that's still a pretty good setup, but this one is good as well, the Nikon ZR.